had long ago made my apartment a fortress against the outside world. The flicker of the TV, the sound of my gaming console roaring to life, drowned out any sense of loneliness. I was deep into an intense boss fight, fingers dancing over the controller when it started, soft at first, a faint tapping, like someone drumming their fingers against my door. At first, I brushed it off as a figment of my imagination, a trick played by the darkness and my overexerted mind. I focused on the screen, the battle escalating around me as I slashed and dodged. But there it was again. Knock, knock, knock. I paused, my heart thumping loudly against my chest, feeling distantly out of place in my own sanctuary. Drawing a deep breath, I turned down the volume and listened. Silence. I felt foolish for even considering that someone might be at my door. I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the glass screen, pale, wide-eyed. "Get a grip, man," I muttered to myself. The fight continued, but the tapping returned, a little more insistent this time. I glanced at the clock on my wall. It was already past midnight. Who would be knocking at a time like this? Curiosity prickled at my skin as I stood up, abandoning my gaming fervor. I crept to the door, each step heavy in the quiet apartment. I reached for the peephole and squinted. Nothing. My heart sank a little. I contemplated ignoring it. Maybe it was just my neighbor returning from a late night of work, but doubt gnawed at me. What if it wasn't? What if it was something worse? Swallowing my fear, I opened the door just a crack. The dim hallway sat empty, shadows pooling in corners, the stench of stale air filling my lungs. I could hear my heartbeat echoing in the silence. Maybe I should call it a night, I thought, retreating back to the comfort of my gaming chair. As I sank back into my virtual world, I tried to dismiss the feeling of unease settling in my gut. A cold chill crept through me, and a sense of dread unfurled in my stomach. My pulse quickened as images of blood and chaos flashed through my mind. I couldn't shake the feeling that whoever it was might be closer than I thought. Could that persistent knocking have been a warning? I jumped back up and rifled through the locks on my door, triple-checking each one, my hands trembling. Just then, the tapping returned, this time sounding more like frantic banging. "Hello?" I called out, my voice wavering. Silence followed, but my nerves felt electrically charged. I nearly dropped my phone when I heard a voice. A low, raspy whisper cut through the air.
"Let me in."
I froze. Panic surged as I pieced the fragments of sense together. No one on the news had stated that the man was anywhere near here, but my intuition screamed otherwise. My apartment felt like a trap, and suddenly I was suffocated by four walls. I grabbed my phone, the screensaver lighting up my face. I dialed 911, my heart pounding in my ears. Before I could press call, the power went out. The room descended into darkness, the blue light of my phone the only thing fighting it away. My heart raced to a frantic pace as I heard it. Slow and deliberate knocking, accompanied by a dragging sound, as if something heavy was being pulled across the floor. A scream tried to tumble from my lips as my senses overloaded, but all that escaped was a strangled whimper. Then suddenly, the knocking stopped. I held my breath, staring at the door with wild eyes. Was it gone? But in place of silence, I could hear heavy breathing right outside my door, echoing. I turned to the window, the streetlight below flickering. I could hear distant sirens wailing, but I was too paralyzed to move. Just then, the door shuddered under a solid thump. My mind raced, weighing my options. I needed to defend myself, to survive. I opened the drawer beside my chair and pulled out a baseball bat, feeling the cold metal beneath my hand. Each thunderous sound against the door felt like the heartbeat of the world coming for me.
Let me in.
The voice called again, now tinged with urgency, desperation edging every syllable. I squeezed the bat tightly and took a step back. The next hit was explosive, the wooden door splintering under the force, chunks flying off as the frame cracked around the ancient hinges. I clenched my teeth and prepared for what was coming. With one last screeching lunge, the door burst open and a figure emerged, shrouded in darkness, blood-stained clothes clinging to a gaunt frame. I swung the bat, hitting the figure squarely in the chest. It stumbled back, but it wasn't enough. What came next was an unfolding nightmare, a gory flood of violence as reality twisted into horror, and the world I once loved crumbled around me. The last thing I remember was the mad gleam in his eyes, and everything went black.